Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and to share some guidance for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. That's the 18th, 19th and the 20th of June 2024. So before I start, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is very early. It's pitch black dark outside. And it is Tuesday the 18th of June, and the time is 5:01 a.m. So some of you, I don't typically stream this time of the day unless it's in the middle of summer. So maybe you haven't seen a live video for a while. I don't know, but welcome. That's if you're watching live. You might be watching the replay. But we've got Josephine here. Good morning. Oh, thank you. Good morning, Janine. And good morning, everybody. So if you're new to watching, what I'm going to be doing is using my Oracle cards here. I've got two decks combined. We have the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with the Speed of Light Oracle cards. And these cards have been combined to create a 110 card deck. You can combine the deck, you can use the deck separately. It's up to you. So I'll be using this combined deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. At the very end of the video, I'm going to pull a theme card that will help bring these particular days together. So I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. I do recommend that you take on board what does feel right and what does resonate and what does fit easily into your life, what does make sense to you, and let the rest go. And let's see what happens. Think of this as a guide only. So let's get started. I'm looking for the best card now for Tuesday the 18th of June. So the best card for the majority of us for Tuesday the 18th of June, hi Belinda, is, let's go with this card. It's an Animal Kingdom, which slipped down. It's this. It's the Orca Whale, card 28, and it reminds us to live our purpose. Actually, it says living your purpose, but it's very much about a reminder about purpose, finding purpose, and then living purpose. How can we live our purpose if we haven't found it? That's a pretty basic question, but maybe something that some of us forget sometimes. I want to live more purpose in my life, but we forget the stage before that we need to find it. What is it that helps us feel a sense of purpose? It's probably not, for the most part, some big high fantasy dream or goal for the future, although it could be partly connected with that. Mostly I find when I'm wanting to really live my purpose, so find it and then live it, I need to find it and feel it on a daily basis. So I need to find it when I wake up in the morning and throughout my practices during the day. Then at the end of the day when I'm laying in bed at night, to feel that I've accomplished something purposeful, something meaningful to me. So that is based around the lifestyle, for me, the lifestyle that I've created. Just like the lifestyle you've created, that's where you'll find your purpose. So, are you looking for your purpose? Have you found it? And are you living it at this time? that's probably all I really need to say about this card. We might even find on Tuesday that we feel a sense of purpose. Maybe something happens, or we achieve something personally, or we move into something that feels like we've really achieved and accomplished something. So that's our card for Tuesday. Thank you. Pamela is here. Good morning. And Daniel, welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you. Let's now look for the best card for Wednesday, the 19th of June. And the best card for Wednesday for the majority of us is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle card. And it's this. I love this card so much. And it's a featured card, so it has further instructions here, which say to split the deck and take the top card. So I'm just going to split the deck here and take this card. Focus. Great. These go fantastically together. So this is for Wednesday. We have the White Tiger and the Focus card that have come up together for a reason. What that reason is will reveal itself as we go. But what I'm going to do to explore these cards is look at the cards separately, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So first of all, we have the White Tiger, card 48, and it says schedule, routine, time, not time. It says adjustment and management, but this is very much about time. This is about our priorities and looking at how we spend our time. Some of us may be looking at our schedule or our routine or our calendar and making sure that what we're doing with our time matches with our priorities. So really this links up very nicely with the Orca Whale card, reminding us to live our purpose. Because to live our purpose, at least for me, I find I need to be on top of things on a daily basis. So I need to be on top of things as far as my organisational skills and my routine and how I do actually spend my time. This is probably more so in situations like mine where I actually work for myself and I work from home. So I have to manage my time really super well so that I stay productive and I stay creating and managing the things that I need to do. If you're working for someone else and you have sort of a 9-to-5 job basically and you're off doing other people's responsibilities, then it might not be quite as important to you in regards to your time management. But if you work for yourself or you're retired or you're unemployed at this time, then time management's especially important. So what are your priorities? And are you following and living those priorities? Or are you distracted by other things? So working out our priorities is really valuable. It is so helpful to focus on our priorities once we find them. Just like focusing on living our purpose once we find it. So it's hard to focus on our priorities if we don't know what they are. So writing in our journal what our priorities are can be helpful. For me, I like to do 2 lists for my priorities. When I've been through a big period of change, my priorities change. So I need to then assess how I spend my time to make sure my priorities are still, or the new priorities are being prioritised. So I make a list of what I think at this particular time my priorities should be. And when I'm really busy, I might have 10 things as priority. When I'm not so busy and I'm not needed, let's say, in a lot of different areas, then I might have 5 things on my priority list. So it just depends on what we're doing in our life. So then I need to work out what is top priority. Everything can't be top priority, otherwise, at least for me, I find myself very scattered. If I've got 4 or 5 things as top priority, then what do I focus on? I have no idea. So I need to make an order of this list I need to determine in that moment what is the most important, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And so then once I determine what that order is, what that list is, and what's really important to me right there and then I like to make a second list. And in that second list, I need to be really honest with myself. And I need to be very observant, which I try to be as often as I can, of what I'm actually doing with my time. And that includes airtime. So that includes what's taking up space in my head. What am I worried about? What am I thinking about? What's just at the forefront of my mind? That will be bumped up the list even if I'm not physically as active on that as something else. So then I want to look at where my actual priorities are, and then I need to work out at that time what I think the order of those is. So, and then I look at the list and I compare them. Okay, is what I want my number one priority to be, is that actually number one when I'm practicing and living my life? If that number one priority that I want is down at number 3 or 4, then I might need to, or I will need to bump that up. So working out where these sit and then making some adjustments accordingly. So I do this probably once a month, just generally, and I do it more often if I'm going through a big period of change and I need to prioritise, or something new's come up that is more priority that I need to consider. So considering our priorities, our routine, how we spend our time is extremely valuable. And it comes up with the focus card, card 38. So we've got card 48 and 38, which is quite cool. And this goes together really well with the white tiger. It says holding position, timing, and growth. So first of all, this is about trusting in perfect timing, especially if we've been feeling impatient. So if I feel impatient and antsy because I want something to happen today, then I need to remind myself to trust in perfect timing. And that helps take the edge off that impatience. If I can trust that things will happen at the right time, that there's no need for me to be impatient here. Let's just trust it and do something else while I wait. So we can trust in perfect timing, especially if we've been feeling impatient, to remind ourselves of that when we feel impatient. This is also about holding our position. So on this illustration, there's a path that's led to this point where this rock is, and this represents us standing here on this rock. So this is our past. This is our past path that we've walked. And we've walked this path. We've made decisions. We've made choices. We've had good things happen. We've had not so good things happen. But we should know more than anybody else the course of our life and why we chose to do a certain thing at a certain time. Maybe in hindsight we might not do that again, but at the time we felt it was important. We felt it was priority, perhaps, especially if we were at least partly conscious of the decision that we were making. So if we needed to make that decision for whatever reason at that time, then we need to own the results of that decision that we made and how things turned out. So we should know more than anyone else why and what's led us to this point in our life. This point here, we're represented by this illustration where we're standing here in this yoga pose on this river rock. This is us embedded and anchored and integrated in the present moment. So we own our past. We take responsibility for the choices and the actions and the inactions that we made in the past. This card also reminds us to be careful of naysayers. So maybe there are people around or a person around that's trying to talk us out of something or doesn't understand why we have this stance or hold this position, or why we made this decision recently. So with these two cards together, this is very much reminding us to focus on our priorities, focus on our time management, especially if we've been lacking purpose, lacking drive, lacking enthusiasm about life. Can you create an order that you can enjoy life within? if that makes sense. It's like, I guess, water. It's like water. Water likes to be contained. Otherwise, it's just going to spew out everywhere and really spread itself thin. If we can create a healthy vessel, which I see as boundaries potentially, or organising our life, managing our life, creates an order, which I see like a vessel. And then that vessel is better at containing the energy, let's say, of water, just as an example, because we know water will just want to spread itself out and spread itself thin. So if we can create a vessel, an order in our life that works for us, then we can use it to our benefit to balance our flow and our order, the flow and the organisation, which in some ways is the masculine and the feminine energy within our life. Order helps us work better with the flow. So flow is not lack of rules, it's not lack of order, it's not lack of management or lack of being organised or priorities. Order is figuring out the balance between that works for us personally, between the order and the chaos, the structure and the flow, the masculine and the feminine within us and our life. So these are very sort of masculine energies. This is about finding the structure and the order and getting things in their place, working out the priority of things, and then we can flow and create within that order, just like a vessel containing water. If that water represented flow or creativity or just life itself. And we don't have to restrict it, because we can, if we're assessing our order of things, if we're assessing that reasonably regularly, like at least once a month, but being aware of it daily, then we can also shift and adjust this vessel to suit whatever it is that we're feeling or we need at the time. And then we're sort of moulding and flowing with that energy. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that's sort of how I see the order and the flow that I try and live and manage in my life. They work together. We might think they're opposing because they seem like opposites, but actually they work beautifully together, which is why I love order and I love managing and organising things in my life, working out my priorities, because within those boundaries and that framework, if frameworks might be a better word, then I can create, because I'm highly creative and I'm highly active living in my flow. So I've worked that balance out between and how those energies can work together, let's say. So that's that. Welcome everyone. I'm now looking for the best card for Thursday, the 20th of June. And the best card for the majority of us is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And we have the Penguins, card 37. And the Penguins remind us of an unbreakable bond. This is especially, well, potentially for new relationships or new connections with people. This could be a child we've just had with a special connection that we might feel. It could be a partner that we've recently taken our relationship to a new level. This card does tend to come up when there's a bit of distance. So unless it's a new connection that we've made with another person, with a new person potentially in our life, this card would typically talk about someone who's at distance from us. So it could be someone, a child who's working away or travelling at this time. It could be a partner that's working away from home. It might be someone, a deep friendship that we have with someone who lives somewhere else. Or it could even be someone who's in spirit. I've seen this card come up for those types of relationships too. So this card is reminding us that our special bonds, our special connections with other people, and there might only be one person. There might be a couple if we're very, very lucky, but it would just be very much in the single digits of these special connections that we have with other people, and that we hold that special connection very sacredly in our heart, even if they're not here any longer, or even if there's distance between us at this time. And if we're lucky enough to be sharing our life with someone that we have that special sacred connection with, then let's continue to honour and embrace the sacredness of that connection. if you don't feel a connection with somebody in this particular way, then it might be important to, it might be important to make perhaps an effort, or to look at perhaps putting on the priority list that you would like to meet someone, or find someone to have a special connection with. And it could be intimate, but it doesn't have to be in regards to a special connection. We can have really special connections with friends and people that we can just really deeply talk to or connect with, and we just resonate in some way for some reason. But it doesn't go any more intimately than that, even though those deep conversations can be very intimate, where people open their heart to us and we open our heart to them. But it might be, purely in that way. So if that's something that you're longing for and you would really love in your life, then perhaps consider thinking about how to make that a priority. And how to make it a priority is quite tricky. I think perhaps doing things where you're meeting new people and being yourself, and maybe following some practice or hobby or something that you're interested in, that you could potentially meet another person who has the same interest, and doing that sort of thing regularly, and building a regular connection with other people, and slowly opening up and see if they open up to you, and building these friendships and connections. And they take time. It takes time. So it takes time and it takes effort to nurture all of our relationships of any kind. But this is definitely highlighting relationships and special connection that we may feel with another person or a couple of other people. So there are our cards for the next couple of days. So I trust they resonate and support you. If you have enjoyed the video, I'm going to pull up the theme card shortly. But if you have enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to learn more about my card decks, Animal Kingdom Oracle or the Speed of Light Oracle, somewhere in here, you can work with the decks together like this, or you can work with them separately. I've also and am in the middle of releasing some new ceramics on my ceramics website. So I've put some new earrings up last night, and I've got a few more things to put up maybe today or tomorrow, whenever I have time. So keep an eye out there. And also there's a new drum, the stag drum, which is not quite in my reach, otherwise I'd show you. But there's now 2 drums on the website, the butterfly and the stag, which doesn't happen very often, because I got a heap of drums from my drum maker because he's just gone away for a few months. So he's actually made me 8 drums. So I've sold one of those, and I'm busily painting in between things. So check out my work if you're interested to support it or learn more about what I do. Please visit templeofbalance.com.au. I'm a poet today, or in that moment. All right, let's grab the best theme card. The theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th of June 2024. So the best card for the theme for the majority of us is, drum roll, this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and it's the Chameleon, card 3. It says, give it your full attention. So we've got another focus card. We already had the focus card, so we've got certainly a theme of focus. A theme of focus is very exciting, especially for someone like me who likes to be organised in my life. So I'm looking forward to focus, because focus to me translates to productivity. And there is so much purpose that I feel at the end of the day when I have had a nice, productive and focused day. So when I'm focusing on my priorities that I've already established clearly, I have them outlined so that I can focus on those priorities. Otherwise, I'll just be distracted by any other pretty shiny thing over here or other distraction. I need to stay focused to be productive, to feel purpose. They go together for me. So the chameleon reminds us to give it our fullest attention, and it might be our priorities or whatever it is we're focusing on, whatever's important to us that we determine as priority or priorities, especially in an order, is most helpful, rather than having a bunch of equal priorities might not work that well. So if we can just, even though things on our priority list may be very close, and maybe today this is number one and tomorrow this is number one, this other thing's number one, even though they might be very close, if we can grade them in some sort of order, we might find that works really well. And if it's not something you usually do, then maybe it's worth trying and seeing if it works for you. So giving it our fullest attention, there is this sense of focus, attention that we're giving to something. Whatever we put our attention towards is what gives it power or life. So if we're focusing on procrastinating, and we're not getting anything done because we spend half our day procrastinating, then we're giving that procrastination power. And it's actually just consuming a big chunk of our day, and then we'll probably feel at the end of the day quite drained, even though we haven't really done that much, because we were so focused on what we should be doing, not what we and not actually doing it. So shifting our priority away from those types of things and towards something beneficial, something productive, something of priority for us might be of great benefit over these next couple of days. So from what I'm feeling, this could be quite a productive few days, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's see how we go. Let's focus. Let's give it attention. Let's be aware of where we're at and what we need to do, and are we focusing on the right thing based on our priorities list. If you don't know what you should be focusing on, then I recommend making a list. Make a list in your journal. What do you want your priorities to be right now? And what are your priorities? What have you made your priority at this time? Do they match up? If they don't, what do you need to change to get them into the right order that you've determined? You can determine the order. We have the power to do that. So let's take our power back. If you've been giving your power away to other things to determine what your life should be, and just make these decisions for ourselves. There's something very empowering about that. So focus, giving something our attention, and that's that. Thanks for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of your day and few days ahead, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Take care and goodbye.